Hey friends, it's Jack Russell, and this is Starring. On today's show, I have a good friend of mine. His name is Alex. Alex and I usually share a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe once, twice, sometimes 3 times a month at a local diner we both frequent. Alex usually tells me some wild stories about the past, so the other morning I asked if I could just record us talking. This is a short little tidbit of what we were talking about, and I just edited it in to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. So sit back, throw on your headphones, and enjoy. This is Starring.
Of the enemy's military action have learned they can turn to us for help, support, and security. And to the American serviceman, it is equally clear that the battles won with the sharp edge of our own blade are only a beginning. Ultimate victory is to be assured.
Cambodia. Well, first I was in San Diego. And then from San Diego, I went to Hawaii. Then I was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Then from Hawaii, I went to Saigon. Well, the Marines were the first to cross over in '65. Yeah. Then from there, it was awful. It was people running around.
67?
Yeah, it was 19. And then I went to Khe Sanh, which was a nightmare. But that's over 40 years ago. But then, every time I think how bad it was, I think of how bad it was when my father was in 42. That was a patriotic war. They're not the same. Sure, there's a difference. You gotta be smart. People that don't know. Yeah, but I'm thinking of guys like my father. My father would be on the streetcar, and people would smile at him, and if you weren't in, they would say, "How come you ain't in? Why ain't you in?" When I came back, I got dirty looks and everything. I never killed anybody. They had me in the motor pool. I didn't even shoulder a rifle, unless I was outside. But when I was in the shop, I was too busy working on Jeeps and trucks. I lucked out. Imagine being on patrols, right? Could have got killed. My uncle's full of stories. And he said the Italians gave up. They'd come out.
Rome was free, liberated after 21 years of fascist rule. The Allied Fifth Army entered the Eternal City from the south, acclaimed by cheering multitudes.
They'd say, we got relatives in New York and this and that. And they'd ask you for a cigarette, and they didn't want no part of that war. And the Germans were the same way. We got relatives in Michigan and everything. And then the Germans would say to my uncle, "Why are you over here doing this? We didn't attack you." And my uncle says, "Could I trust you? Put your hands down." He says, "I'm not going to give you any trouble." My uncle would tell him, "Where'd you learn how to speak English?" He goes, "In the United States." He said, "Well, why did you come back?" He said, "We came back because we all had property over there, and when we went back, they wouldn't let us leave." All Germans didn't go along with Hitler.
Right.
Some didn't want no part of that. Yeah, but you got people out there that think that all the Germans were rotten.